Yeah, welcome back into Morning Footy presented by Zillow. Champions League knockout phase playoff. Can you imagine? Real Madrid versus Benfica. It's a headline both on and off the pitch. Coverage starts from 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Paramount Plus and 3 p.m. of course for kickoff. And just to give you the headlines as to what's at stake between these two, Real Madrid and Benfica, two historical clubs of course in the Champions League. But as you can see, 22 of the last 23 European ties, Real Madrid have won after winning the first leg, and they've reached the round of 16, 6 and 55 of their last 56. So it's easy to say that Real Madrid are comfortably the favourites as we go back to Spain. But Benfica seeking a 10th round appearance, of course, in the Champions League era of the round of 16. So look, why use that? Okay, we can highlight it if you want to. And Mourinho's also winless in his last 9 Champions League knockout stage games. So since you want to give us a little extra context, Matt Lahoud, why don't you break it down for us as to why you see Real Madrid being so favourites going into tonight?
Yeah, the little caveat with it, a big caveat, right? No Kylian Mbappé, you know, the reported knee problems that he's had. I saw it on display, El Sadat with Osasuna, but I still believe in this Madrid side because they did something that was a bit elevated, right? It was just a new nuance to how they play. And so we're going to see right here on the wall with the breakdown. So this is a new Madrid under Alvaro Arbeloa, a Madrid side that tends to push their fullbacks high, but it's what I saw from these 3 players. So this Benfica under Jose Mourinho, a Jose Mourinho-inspired team. They're going to sit in the low block, right? So you're going to have to break down these 9 players here for Benfica. And it's so difficult to do if you don't have a dynamic movement with your 2 fullbacks and your midfielders. But it's all about the interchange of these 3 players. Vini Jr., Alvaro, who is playing against his former side, and Eduardo Camavinga, who I thought probably had his best performance in a Madrid shirt. So now look at the movement of Carreras into the channels, right? It's going to open up spaces. But now I want to highlight the fact that Eduardo Camavinga gets into the final third. And let me actually rewind it just a bit, because to really appreciate this movement, this is a different Camavinga that would not make this sort of run before under Xabi Alonso. So the space is there, JayDee.
It's a third man run.
Third man running there.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's about moving players out of the way to create space for your main man. You go to the most dangerous man you think is the most dangerous man, but the dangerous man is not Camavinga. Look at the space now. Kylian Mbappé. This space right here is wide open, and now you've unlocked the low block.
How does Arbeloa manage a game like tonight? Both the mechanisms on the pitch and off the pitch, and the expectations, especially at home in the Champions League. How does Arbeloa handle the occasion tonight as the head coach?
Look, I think one of the things that he needs to learn from, and he's learning on the fly, his substitutions. At the weekend, it's managing the subs, right? Managing the momentum and managing who your leaders are. He made one of the cardinal sins in the big match for Real Madrid. Do not ever take Fede Valverde off the football pitch. If you keep your heart and soul of this team, which is Fede Valverde, from the midfield position, if you keep and get the best match from Antonio Rudiger and then Vini up top, you have a winning formula. Don't mess with that. And in some of the games, his subs have come into question. This is a night, where he has to get managing who comes in off the pitch and who comes on. Perfect.
So why don't we get talking to Clive Tyldesley, because he is going to be commentating the game on the call for it, Clive. Now, it is a huge game for Real Madrid, not just because they could advance to the round of 16, but they obviously can send a big message in regarding to what happened last week with Vini Jr. and Prestiani. How's your prep going for tonight's game? Has it changed at all to what you normally do? I think I can see some of your notes, which look thoroughly detailed behind you. How is the prep going today? Wow, look at that.
You can see that I'd already done some homework on Dean Housen and on Kylian Mbappé, so that's half an hour of my life that I'll never get back. But that's an occupational hazard. Real Madrid have added 3 young players now to the squad today, and I'll have to do some background information on them. But it's an easy job.
Trickiest name to say in this tonight, Clive? That's what most commentators look for straight away.
Aursnes, but mainly because it's spelled Aursnes, and there'll be millions of people staring at the name on the back of his shirt and saying, what on earth is Tyldesley going on about, Aursnes? But he's a Norwegian, He has very, very kindly posted a video on the official Benfica website telling us how to pronounce his name. Now, of course, in 2026, it could be a scam. It could be his idea of a joke. And Auschnes may be a very vulgar Norwegian saying, but I'm trusting him that Auschnes is the correct pronunciation.
Well, according to me, saying Clive Tyldesley is the hard name.
You can't even say it now.
Clive Tyldesley. Excuse me, Clive.
Oh, man. Clive, you talked about Dean Howson. You know, we'd mentioned Kylian Mbappé not being available. I mean, with some of these injuries or absences for Real Madrid, is it safe to say that maybe this could tip the scale in Benfica's favor?
I think the first goal is very big tonight. It's interesting you talk about how Arbeloa will manage the match. He doesn't have to win the game. Real Madrid can be watchful, but convincing 70,000 of the 74,000 in the Bernabéu that they can be watchful might be a different matter. It'll be interesting to see exactly how they approach the game. He set them up now in very much a 4-4-2. With four fairly physical players, certainly three of the four very physical players in midfield. And the message really, we saw last week in the first leg, almost an offense and a defense. The message really was get it up to Vinny and to Kylian and let them do their thing, and we'll kind of mind the store. Well, that balance changes when Mbappé isn't there. You've already discussed how comfortable Vinicius Jr. is in those central roles. We have a very different partner tonight. And I think it was actually when Arbeloa started to get on the ball in the closing stages of the first half last week that the two parts of the Real Madrid team began to connect and they began to play better. But they are stacked in midfield to contain if they need to, and it could be quite a cagey game, I think.
And Clive, it's quite interesting to see how Jose Mourinho will be perceived tonight. He won't be on the touchline, but we did see yesterday him coming off the team bus. He was greeted from Real Madrid fans by saying, look, we love you, come back to Real Madrid. He won't be on the touchline tonight. He may be in the crowd. If he is in the crowd at the Bernabéu, do you think we'll see a different reaction from Real Madrid fans towards Mourinho tonight?
Well, I think it was a live story a week ago. I think people were talking about the possibility of him being the next permanent Real Madrid coach. I think that dream might have died with his reaction, post-match reaction to events in Lisbon last Tuesday. I think that maybe Florentino Perez will look at that and think, do I need the occasional hassle that comes with having Jose Mourinho in charge of my team? It'd be interesting to see where he positions himself, whether he wants to be seen by the cameras this evening, or listen, he's
don't be silly. It's Jose. It's Jose we're talking about. No chance. So? Yeah, his presence will loom large, regardless if he does any interviews or not, and even not being on the touchline. Him at the Bernabéu, he will be not the centre of attention, but there's no way he's going under the radar.
It's interesting. Jeff will know a story from way back, from 20-odd years ago, before a Champions League quarter-final at Chelsea, when he was banned from the touchline. And he spirited himself away in a metal box, which was used for storing kit. He got into the dressing room at midday, waited there all day, so that he could spring from his trap and deliver an illegal pre-match address to the players. I remember John Terry saying that he didn't even have a hair out of place, and Chelsea won that match 4-2 and went through that quarter-final. So you just never know with Jose.
Clive, I'm interested in the confidence levels of Real Madrid, just in this competition, full stop. They've been through a lot of changes. This is a magnitude or a big job for Arbeloa to take on halfway through a season, but how much of a chance do you give them in terms of making a deep Champions League run?
Do you know how many days it is since Real Madrid last lifted a trophy? It's over 360 days since they lifted what was the Intercontinental Cup when they beat Pacheco in Qatar in December of last season. I mean, if you measure Real Madrid's success by Champions League, by La Liga, by maybe Copa del Rey, they didn't win any of those last season. They're out of Copa del Rey. They've slipped behind Barcelona in the league standings. They find themselves in the playoff round again. Not since 2010 has a Real Madrid team gone 2 seasons without winning one of those 3 trophies. They're in transition. The extent of Arbeloa's contract is a thing of mystery. We think that it moves into next year, but Jurgen Klopp is circling now. So there's a lot of uncertainty around. You know, Vinny's still got to sign that contract. That's up next year, isn't it? I mean, he's getting on well with Arbeloa and he's playing really, really well. But there are still 1 or 2 question marks over the immediate future. And they've lost 4 times since the turn of the year. They have a lot of good days, but they maybe have too many bad days for a Real Madrid team. And I don't think they'll carry quite the same aura. And I think they will get through tonight. I don't think they'll carry quite the same aura with them through into the last 16 that they maybe have done for the last 10 or 15 years.
Clive, really great stuff. Thank you very much. Hope the game goes well for you tonight.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.